So this video is going to take you down to North Berwick. So for anybody who wants to do something out of Edinburgh but not have to travel too far, North Berwick is a great drop-off point. It's around about a 30-minute drive from Edinburgh, and if you look on this map here, you'll see on the grey route that's driving. You can alternatively take the train, which takes about 30 minutes, 45-minute drive, and that gets you down to North Berwick. There's a number of little towns or little villages that you can drive through. This one here, for example, is Harbour. Beautiful, quaint, charming little place, and again it sits right on the coast. This route here, this is actually taking you through a place called Gullen. This is really golfing country. Gullen Golf Club, in fact, has 3 courses. Aberlady's got a course, Craigie Law, Kilspindie, Long Nidri, they all have their own courses, so it's real golfing country. This is the entrance into North Berwick, or the main route in. As you can see, quite well-to-do area. A lot of people retire here, but many people live here and work in Edinburgh. This is going to be our first port of call. We're going to head up North Berwick Law, or Berwick Law as it's known. This is an old volcanic feature that overlooks the town, and it's great to get a view out over the town of North Berwick. So we're going to head round there to climb up. So here we are at the foot of Berwick Law. So it just sits about 10 minutes walk from the town centre. So we're going to take a little walk up here. Not quite sure how long it will take. Normally I've managed to get up there in about 30 minutes, but we'll just see. It's a little bit windy today, so I'm maybe going to have to resort to dubbing this after we've filmed, but the views from the top are fantastic, so let's make our way up there and see what we can see from the top. So I'm about halfway to the top, and at this point it's taken me about 10 minutes to get here. This is approaching the summit of Berwick Law. You can see there's a few features up here, a couple of buildings and a white shaped item, which I'll explain about in a minute. So we're at the top of Berwick Law. Took me just under 20 minutes to get up here, and I was moving along at a fair old pace, but I reckon if you leave yourself about 30 to 40 minutes you can do it quite at a relaxed pace. But it's just fantastic up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this round so that you can see what I'm looking at from the top of Berwick Law. So at 613 feet above sea level, Berwick Law really does give you fantastic views out over not just the town but beyond, across the Firth of Forth over to the Fife coast. And if you look back to the left here, we're going to pan round, we're actually looking back towards Edinburgh. In fact, I'm just going to zoom in here at this point, and if you look on the skyline you'll see there's what looks like a little pimple on the skyline. That's actually Arthur's Seat. So if you're aware of Arthur's Seat, that's the other volcanic feature in the area. Berwick Law is also a volcanic feature, that's why it's shaped how it is. But as I say, it towers over the town here, and what we're doing is we're looking along the coast towards the town centre. You've got North Berwick Bay just there, with the beach. Then in the top right hand corner you've got the harbour of North Berwick. So everything is kind of clustered around the harbour because this obviously was the main fishing port in this area. It was also a ferry port, which I'll cover a little bit later. Then as we move further along to the east here, you've got Milsey Bay, and again more residential properties here. And then just off in the distance, in the middle of the sea, you've got another rock, another volcanic feature. This is actually the Bass Rock, sanctuary to a huge gannet population, so they breed and live there. And then just over here on the coast is Tantallon Castle, which again I'll touch on briefly a little bit later in the video. So scanning round here, we're now looking on the south side of Berwick Law, and as you can see there's a lot of farming land, very fertile area. Feature is actually a set of whale's jawbones. Back in 1709, a whale was washed up on the shore, and so the inhabitants, once they'd stripped the carcass, removed the jawbones up to here. Then in 1935, they collapsed, and so they had to replace them. Then in 2005, the same happened again, so this time, rather than getting real whale's jawbones, they actually got fiberglass ones. This building here, this is a World War II lookout post, because obviously the Firth of Forth leads up to the naval base at Rosyth, and so there had to be a lookout tower to make sure either enemy aircraft or indeed German ships or U-boats didn't come up the Firth of Forth to try and bomb the Royal Naval Base. Must have got pretty cold up here because the wind really whistles over the top of Berwick Law and through this building. So we've now made our way back down into the town. We're just heading along the high street here, and the high street is, as you can see, and this is quiet by comparison to normal times, is a very busy place. Lots of little galleries, gift shops, eateries, restaurants and bars, so there's plenty to do down here, but it does get busy during the normal summer period. Obviously with coronavirus, numbers are significantly down on what they're used to. So having parked up on the west side of the town, we're just walking past a few of the residential properties to make our way round to North Berwick Golf Club. The golf club itself has actually replaced what used to be the toll house, and the toll house was where visitors to the town would pay their toll to enter. But it was eventually demolished, and the building you see here, the clubhouse, was built and completed in 1880. North Berwick Golf Club, in fact, is, well, it lays claim to being the 13th oldest golf club in the world, and it was only a few years ago that I found myself actually bringing more and more people down here to play at North Berwick, because it had actually got itself quite a good reputation as a golf course to play. And it was only when I thought back about it, when I was younger, I used to play here with my dad when I used to play golf, and it's a tough course, but the views are fantastic from the golf course. So here we have a sculpture at the side of the road on the edge of the golf course. This is of a man called Ben Sayers. So for most golfers, they'll have heard of Ben Sayers. But although not born in North Berwick, born in Leith, he did actually teach golf here in North Berwick and went on to become a professional. And obviously you'll know that he became a manufacturer of golf clubs. So that's why he's got his own little statue here on the edge of the golf course. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over towards the harbour. You can actually take the coastal road. This is starting at the first tee of North Berwick Golf Club. You've got the beach, North Berwick Bay. You've got the beach that looks out onto the Firth of Forth and beyond over to the coast of Fife. The little island out there is Craigleith, but the beach itself actually leads all the way around to the harbour. And you can walk along here. Really pleasant walk. This is part of the way between high and low tide at the moment, and as you can see, you've got the main part of the town over here to the right. So we're just going to make our way along the coast. wondering what this chap is depicting? Well, possibly an ornithologist, but somebody with binoculars up to his eyes, and he's looking out towards the Bass Rock, which is where the gannet population is. But in the foreground here on the beach, you can see what is a former Victorian paddling pool. A lot of these coastal resorts would have these because when the tide went out, because it's quite rocky beyond that, if people still wanted to paddle about in the sea, they could go to this paddling pool. Now, this little white building here is all that remains of the original St Andrew's Church, and North Berwick was actually the main gateway, or one of the main gateways, to take Catholic pilgrims to St Andrew's. So there used to be a ferry that operated from here over to Ely on the Fife coast. So the church here, this is all that's left of it. Over half of it collapsed into the sea during storms, so that's why we only have this part of the building. So again, we're looking at the Bass Rock, and if you want to make trips out there, you can actually take boat trips out to the Bass Rock and to the Isle of May and round Craigleith. Scottish Seabird Centre, if you don't want to take the boat trips, you can go inside. It's closed at the moment because of coronavirus, but here's a list of the boat trips that are available, and as you can see, for the next few days they're fully booked, and that's generally the case. They're very, very popular. So this is North Berwick Harbour. As you can see, there's a few yachts here, but this is also where the boat trips depart from. Just on the corner of the harbour here, you've got the lobster shack. So if you want your fresh caught seafood, whether it be lobster, crab, fish, this is where you would go to. And there's a little path from the harbour that takes you out onto the little rocky promontory, and it just gives you great views back towards the town, so well worth a little walk out here, and also it gives you another clearer view of Craigleith and round to the Bass Rock off to the east. So here we have the lobster hatchery, and this all came about as a result of three fishermen back in 2008, because the lobster population had been so badly depleted because of overfishing. They wanted to try and regenerate the population. So they set up this hatchery here. They had to get investment for it, but they've managed to do it quite successfully, because they're now, well, 10 years down the road and it's still going strong. So you can actually go in and see how they actually go about repopulating the lobster population. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make our way back up into the town. At this point, the remainder of the video is just going to be a sequence of photographs. If you do want to eat in North Berwick, there are so many places, and this is just a selection of some of the restaurants and eateries that they have in North Berwick, but certainly there's something there for everybody. Now, although they're not exactly in North Berwick, they're about 10 to 15 minutes away. Here we have Durlton Castle. So this is on the way to North Berwick if you're coming from Edinburgh. And it's a fantastic place to go to, one of the really more charming and quite impressive castles. On the other side of North Berwick, as you head further east, you've got Tantallon Castle here. Again, quite a unique castle. There's not many like this with the curtain wall on the very edge of the cliff face, so well worth a visit. Just along the coast from Tantallon you've got Seacliff Beach, and then a little bit further on you've got the National Air Museum, or the Museum of Flight. Got a Concorde there, and there's a whole range of different aircraft. Beyond that you've got Myreton Museum, Automobile Museum, and then for the Outlander fans there's something there for you as well. You've got Preston Mill, which was used in one of the earlier seasons of Outlander. But really there is so much to see here in North Berwick and East Lothian that you can either drive down yourself, take the train, or book a private tour. But whatever you do, you'll have a great time in North Berwick.